Hello everyone, and welcome back to UFO Evidence, the channel where we explore the mysteries that lie beyond our world. Are we alone in the universe? For centuries, this question has captivated humanity. While many sightings can be explained, some pieces of evidence remain stubbornly, fascinatingly unexplained. Today we're diving deep into some of the most compelling UFO cases that continue to baffle experts and fuel our curiosity. So, buckle up, because we're about to journey into the unknown. Let's start with a case that made headlines and even prompted official government investigation, the Nimitz UFO incident of 2004. Picture this. Off the coast of San Diego, the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group was conducting routine training exercises. Suddenly, advanced radar systems detected multiple anomalous aerial vehicles, or AAVs. These objects performed maneuvers that seemed to defy the laws of physics as we know them. They would hover at 80,000 feet, then plummet to just above sea level in a matter of seconds with no sonic boom. Commander David Fravor, a decorated F/A-18 Super Hornet pilot, was dispatched to investigate. What he and his wingman saw was a smooth, white, oblong object, about 40 feet long with no wings or visible propulsion. It moved erratically, hovering over a disturbance in the water before accelerating at an incredible speed and disappearing. Fravor famously described it as moving like a tic-tac. This wasn't just a fleeting glimpse. It was a multi-day event, tracked on multiple state-of-the-art sensor systems and witnessed by highly credible military personnel. The official videos, declassified by the Pentagon, show these objects, and to this day, no conventional explanation has been offered. What could perform such impossible maneuvers? Next, let's travel back to 1980, to the Rendlesham Forest incident in the UK, often called Britain's Roswell. Over 3 consecutive nights, U.S. Air Force personnel stationed at RAF Bentwaters witnessed a series of bizarre events. It began with sightings of strange lights descending into the nearby forest. A security patrol, led by Staff Sergeant Jim Peniston, went to investigate. They discovered a triangular craft, about 9 feet long and 6 feet high, resting on the forest floor. Peniston reported that the craft was warm to the touch, covered in strange hieroglyphic-like symbols, and bathed the area in a bright white light. He and another airman, John Burroughs, even got close enough to touch it. After a few minutes, the craft lifted off the ground silently and maneuvered through the trees at incredible speed. The following day, depressions were found in the ground where the craft had landed, and radiation readings at the site were significantly higher than in the surrounding area. The next night, the lights returned, and the deputy base commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, led another team into the forest. He recorded the events on a microcassette recorder. His now famous Halt tape documents their pursuit of the object as it shot beams of light down to the ground, including into the base's weapons storage area. Despite extensive investigation, the Ministry of Defense concluded that the event posed no threat to national security, but they never offered a definitive explanation for what dozens of trained military observers witnessed over those 3 nights. A lighthouse? Swamp gas? None of the conventional explanations seemed to fit the detailed testimony of multiple eyewitnesses. Now let's head to the Southern Hemisphere, to a case that shook the entire nation of Brazil, the Varginha UFO incident of 1996. This wasn't just a light in the sky. This was a story of a crashed UFO and the alleged capture of its non-human occupants. In January of that year, residents of Varginha reported seeing a cigar-shaped craft flying erratically and trailing smoke. Soon after, reports flooded in of strange creatures being seen in the city. 2 sisters and their friend claimed to have encountered a creature crouching by a wall. They described it as being about 5 feet tall, with thin brown skin, a large head, and huge red eyes. They were terrified and fled. What makes this case so compelling is the massive military and emergency services response that followed. The local fire department was called to capture one of the creatures. A military police officer who was allegedly involved in the capture later died from a mysterious, rapidly progressing infection, with doctors unable to determine the cause. The military cordoned off large areas of the city, and witnesses reported seeing trucks transporting wreckage covered by tarps. The Brazilian government has officially denied everything, but dozens of witnesses, including civilians, police, and military personnel, have come forward over the years to tell their stories. Many researchers believe the Varginha incident represents one of the most significant UFO cases of all time, a modern-day Roswell that happened in plain sight. Let's also consider a phenomenon that has been documented for decades by pilots all over the world: Foo Fighters. No, not the band. During World War II, Allied and Axis pilots alike reported seeing strange, small metallic spheres and colorful balls of light that would follow their aircraft. These objects would fly in formation with the planes, performing maneuvers that were impossible for any known aircraft of the era. They seemed to toy with the pilots, sometimes appearing on one wing, then instantly zipping over to the other. Initially, each side thought it was a secret weapon developed by the enemy. But after the war, records showed that both sides had experienced the same phenomenon and were equally baffled. These weren't hallucinations. They were tracked on radar and witnessed by multiple crew members simultaneously. The name Foo Fighter came from a popular comic strip and stuck. These objects never displayed hostile intent. They just observed. What were they? Were they advanced surveillance drones from an unknown power? Or were they something else entirely? The phenomenon continues today, with modern pilots reporting similar encounters with what are now often called unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. The persistence of these sightings over nearly a century makes it a truly enduring mystery. Finally, we can't talk about unexplained evidence without mentioning physical traces. The Ubatuba magnesium fragments are a classic example. In 1957, a Brazilian columnist received fragments of metal from a fisherman who claimed they came from an exploding disc over the beach. The fragments were sent for analysis at a Brazilian government lab. The results were astounding. The metal was magnesium of a purity that, at the time, was considered impossible to produce by human technology. Subsequent analyses over the years have confirmed the extremely high purity of the magnesium. While skeptics have tried to debunk the case, suggesting the samples could have been from a flare or a terrestrial source, the documented purity levels from the initial tests remain a sticking point. How could a fisherman in 1957 get his hands on magnesium purer than anything being manufactured in the world's most advanced laboratories? From decorated fighter pilots to entire towns, from World War II to the 21st century, these cases represent just the tip of the iceberg. What connects them is the high credibility of the witnesses and the failure of conventional science to provide a satisfactory explanation. These aren't just blurry photos or campfire stories. They are documented events, often with multiple witnesses, radar data, and even physical evidence that challenge our understanding of the world and our place in the cosmos. What do you think? Are these events proof of extraterrestrial visitation? Or are there other, equally strange explanations we haven't considered yet? Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of the unexplained. The universe is a vast and mysterious place, and it's by asking these questions that we push the boundaries of our knowledge. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button, subscribe to UFO Evidence for more deep dives, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments which case you find most compelling, or if there's a mystery you want me to cover next. Until next time, keep looking up.